Hey guys, it's Megan with Rocky Mountain Sewing and Vacuum, here to talk to you more about the Singer Ditto pattern projection system. You probably notice I'm a little bit in the dark more than usual, hence the peekaboo. But the reason why is because in the dark you can really see the projection better than you can when I have all the fluorescent lights here in the store on. At home, I don't really have this problem too much, but I figure in the store while we're playing, you really want to see what's going on. So what I've already done is on our app on our tablet, we already have a pattern picked out. And if you watched our last video, you'll recognize the image that we're on, which is the pattern workspace. Now, what is cool about the workspace is that I can scroll through all these different pattern pieces. I can check them off as I get them done. But what I really like is how easy it is to project a pattern piece onto my mat. So I've already calibrated, I've already got it connected to Wi-Fi. That process is really simple at home. So don't fret, it's super duper easy. As always, if you have questions, that's what Rocky Mountain Sewing and Vacuum is here for, to help you out with that. But what I can do is I can click and hold on my pattern piece and drag it over. And for example, right now I've got the sleeve. On the sleeve, if I lay out my fabric one way and go, whoops, that's a directional that should be faced that way, not this way, I can mirror that pattern piece to be the right place. So instead of accidentally pinning my paper patterns onto my fabric the wrong direction, I can actually just flip the pattern piece. It makes it so much easier. Then I can also move it around, and I like to move it around so that I can save fabric. So I can put that pattern piece on there. It looks like almost everything else is a splice, except for the collar. So I'm going to drag that one on. And I can drag that wherever I want. I can put it right next to each other. I can cross them over even if I want to. I'm going to put it there for now. And then when everything looks like the way that I want it to go, I go, cool. I hit send to projector. And then you just have to wait a second while she thinks. And it's going to project our pattern pieces down on this mat. Look at that. Boom. I've already got my pattern pieces figured out. So, of course, you see I've got my sleeve and my collar here. And from here, the process is nice and easy. I'm going to put my tablet there for a second. So right now I've just got some fabric that I'm just playing with, so we're not going to cut right now. But look how bright that pattern piece is, even though I have a light yellow fabric. And you know, I am #1 pro at putting my fabric over my tools. So let me fix that really fast. There we go. So here are my pattern pieces. I can see exactly where I need to mark on my pattern pieces. So I can do my 2 notches right there, my 1 notch there, my notches on my collar. I can mark those super duper easy with a marking pen, or you could do the traditional kind of cut it out a little bit into your seam allowance. And then those magical pattern weights we were talking about, I can put them on, and that alleviates my need for pinning. Mind you, if I were to cut this out, I really want to press it first. But this actually alleviates the need for actually pinning it to the pattern piece, because from here I can either take, my favorite is a pair of bent angled shears, or my absolute favorite is a rotary cutter, and I just draw on the outside of the line with my rotary cutter and cut my pattern piece out. Then all I have to do is just label what it is, make my little marks, and boom, I've got my pattern piece already done. I don't have to worry about putting the pattern away. I don't have to worry about figuring out how to store everything. I just have a little bundle of sticky notes, and as I go, I put, cool, that's a sleeve. That's a collar stand. And then I know exactly what the pieces are. So from here, when I've got these already up here, what I can do too is that you'll notice on the side, for example, like the collar stand, it says to cut 2. I can hit the little check mark right next to that, boop, and it goes, did you cut 2 pieces? Because I can't tell you how many times I cut 1 when I should cut 2. So it double checks you to go, are you sure? You hit yes, and then it checks that off for you. Now, you can see that that collar piece is red, which means I can move it around, I can twist it, I can do all sorts of stuff to it. But if I'm done with that piece, I can hit clear and get rid of it. So in theory, I'm going to say the same thing with the sleeve where, all right, I got my sleeve. Did you cut 2? I sure did. And then we go from there. But now you'll notice that the rest of them have this weird icon on there. So I'm going to cut the back, and I'm going to drag it over, just like we did, and it tells me, hey, splicing's required. And I press OK. Once again, I'm going to get my tools out of the way. So I've got my dress on here, and then I can hit send to projector again. She's gonna think for a second as she sends it to there. There we go. You can see how fast that was. Awesome. On this dress, there is a dart, so I usually like to take my marking pen, draw that whole dart so I know exactly where I'm going. But then you'll notice on this piece, there are these big red dots that are on the garment. So what this is telling me is that this pattern piece extends past the projection area on this. What is so cool is that it comes with these handy dandy dots, if you are coordinated enough to take the stickers off, and I just put my handy dandy dots right where those circles are. So I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna go there, and then I'm gonna go right there. So pretty much every single splice pattern piece has 3 calibration points, as it were. So I would put down this, I would make my dart marking, I would make my markings on the garment where I need to, and then I would cut, and then what I do from there is I hit the little red arrow on my app, and then I send it to the projector again. So it's gonna think, and you'll see that it shifts it over for me. There it goes. And now those red dots are in a different spot. So I'm gonna move my iPad, and then I can drag my fabric over. Usually I'm on the other side. I would not recommend cuddling your ditto while you're doing this. So you drag it over, make sure your dots line up. There we go. And usually what I do is I get a dot lined up and I put my pattern weight down. I get my dot lined up and I put my pattern weight down. Then I do that. Whoops. You know, if you booty bump it, it'll kind of shift it a little bit too, so cautious of that. But once I get it exactly where it needs to go, there we go. I think I'm looking pretty good. Then I know I can cut the rest of that dress piece out, and it will be exactly the length that I need it to be. One thing I was astonished about when I made the dress that I'm wearing right now is it spliced pretty much all of these different panel pieces, and I didn't have anything that I had to cut off while I was hemming the bottom, which is usually a issue that I am notoriously bad at because I usually cut a little beyond the pattern. I cut it exactly to size. It lined up perfectly. It was incredible. As you can see, doing this is super duper easy. And then once I'm done with this and I check it off, I'm good to go. I just go sew. I follow my pattern instructions. I sew the garment together and voila. I didn't have to worry about the cleanup of my pattern or anything like that. So the Ditto pattern projecting system makes sewing garments so much easier than it is. It is such a revolutionary technology that we are so excited to have here at Rocky Mountain Sewing and Vacuum. I hope you come to the store and check it out, and please show us what you make with your Ditto system. We'll see you next time.